Be clear, it's the 3rd of July. Listen here. Yesterday I posted some information and I was talking to y'all about the Stockholm Syndrome. And you know, a lot of people that think about shit, you understand what I'm saying? They relate the Stockholm Syndrome to the Willie Lynch letter. They relate that to the psychological breaking, communism. They relate it to all type of things. You understand what I'm saying? That's just not an isolated ideology created by somebody. The Stockholm Syndrome, like I said yesterday, it's not an isolated situation. The Stockholm name, the name, it happened in Stockholm, Sweden. And so that was an isolated situation. But there's a syndrome that occurred, and that syndrome is not, there's an ideology that occurred, and that's not that's not isolated to that one situation. That's broad, man. It's happening all over the time, all the time. It happens all over the place. You know, people go through traumatic situations and syndromes are created. But listen here, let me tell y'all something about this though. I'm talking about this, man, because it's all relates to my personal life. My name is Carlton Mayhem. For who don't know, my name is Carlton LaRon Mayhem. My son is named LaRon Carlton Mayhem. That is my firstborn. I have 2 children. And we've been recently married. I have 3 people in my life that mean everything to me now. That's my wife, my son, my daughter. So my wife good right now. I'm doing my best to make sure she happy on a daily basis. My daughter is 3 months, so she just turned 3 months. So her life is, she just got her first 2 teeth. I swear to God, my daughter, 3 months, just start teething. So listen here, but right now, man, the turmoil I got in my life, the trauma I got in my life is over my son. You know, be my firstborn, man, and he being 10 and finna turn 11, August 30th. He finna turn 11, man, and he going through a rough time in his life right now. You understand what I'm saying? And with that being said, this is the reason why I'm so interested, because of his relationship that he has in his life right now, because of the things that he going through in his life right now. This is why the Willie Lynch letter shit was so interesting to me. You understand me? Because I'm, as a father, man, listen, I'm a speaker. When it comes to disciplining my kids, I'm not really with whooping. That's just how I am. You know, that's just how I was raised. Spare the rod, spoil the child. I was raised. I was raised in that manner, and I had a whole father, you know, and he made sure that discipline was a part of our upbringing. I felt he went too far. So with that being said, you know, they say psychologically, whatever you were raised up under, you're going to either be that or you're going to be just the opposite. So when it comes to physical whoopings, I'm the opposite. I whooped my son one time since he's been, over the last 4 or 5 years. When he was like 1 year old, I might have spanked him, you know. But I missed 7 years of my son's life. So, you know, but over the last 4 years that I've been here, I whooped my son one time on December 3rd, 2019. That's the date. But anyway, listen. He going through a lot of traumatic shit. And I believe, it's my opinion, as being his father, it's my opinion that his mother suffers from a Willie Lynch, the syndrome of Willie Lynch. She suffers from the Willie Lynch syndrome in a sense of breaking a Negro woman. The breaking of a Negro woman. In the breaking of a Negro woman, it was said that the woman, because me and my son mother was together. My son mother was 18. She got pregnant. We got pregnant. 3 months into our relationship. Soon she found out she was pregnant the day before my birthday. The day before, January 5th, she found out she was pregnant. January 5th, 2009. And I was in Wayside County Jail. I found out over the phone while she was at the clinic. So we go through trial. Of course, I'm going to fight now, you know, because she's pregnant, so I got to fight this case. We got the domestic violence I got with her. So I got to fight the case. We fight the case. You know, she come and she do her best, you know. And we fought. Like I said, we fought for a couple of weeks. But after that, all I said is this. After that, I ended up going to jail. She was left alone. 19 years old with a baby. No prior experience. No real support system. You understand what I'm saying? No mother hens to teach her how to do this. She was left completely alone. All she had was a county check. So here it is that I was taking out the picture, and then she was traumatized by being left alone with no leadership, no guidance, no support. You understand what I'm saying? So she's traumatized. She left. She's sent into a frightening state. She don't know what to do. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to? She's telling me we in visiting on B road. We on V road in visiting the county jail. I get a little special visits because the sheriff nigga like the Pittsburgh Steelers and I like the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I get a little extra visits. He said I got a son. You know I'm going through trial. So with that being said, you know, I'm like, she get in fragile state. She going to a fragile state, man. She get crazy. So with that being said, with me leaving her, man, she's sent into this fragile state, and then only support she's given is a county check, and that county check was that little tidbit of decency, because she wasn't getting that from nowhere else. So with that being said, over time, man, I believe she felt victim to the psychological effects of Stockholm syndrome, Willie Lynch syndrome, battered wife syndrome, battered person syndrome, abuse. She felt she was in an abusive state, and then the county the county building came in and handed her a county check, and that's why she's indebted to them now. And I only say that to say, you know, because like I'm saying, hey, I want to get my son, I want full custody of my son, and I want to take my son off the county, and she's like, nigga, no. And even so, even more so, I believe the effects that she has is affected on my son. I'm not talking this about me. This is not about me. It's not the victimization of me. And I'm not what he wants to say is the victimization of my son, because it's just life. But black mothers, you feel some type of way about your baby daddy because circumstances and situations and the history that you two share. Fine. But when you had that boy, when you had that little boy that looked like him, when you had a little boy that act like him, and when you start taking out that frustration that you have with him on that boy, when you start calling that boy a bitch, when you start calling that boy a bastard, when you start telling that boy you wish you didn't have him, or you wish you had better father for him, when you start hitting your child, hitting your boy, not whooping, hitting, socking in the face, busting in the head, if you can find yourself taking a baby that you pushed out, and that baby coming out a boy, and you taking that boy 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years down the line, because you can only do it as long as he's so small, if you find yourself busting him in the head to the point where he's bleeding, or if you find yourself taking your foot and kicking your child in the face or in the body, stumping your child out, if you find yourself doing that, black mother, you're the victim of Stockholm syndrome. You're the victim of Willie Lynch syndrome. You are intentionally demasculating your son because you fear that one day he may grow up and be like his daddy and leave a woman, or worst case, he may grow up one day and get killed by the police for being too macho, or go to prison because he doesn't want to just go to work and just stick to the rules. So you are intentionally influenced by these people, and then you are intentionally reiterating, perpetuating the effect that they've told you should be best for your children. But let me tell you this, though. If that's the case, you know, if it is that you are left in a frightening state and you're the victim of it, and that's the reason why you do what you do to your children, and you're saying it's all because of the man, which, okay, if it was my fault that I was allowed myself to be taken away from my baby's mother when she was pregnant, if I knew it or not. Because when we was going through case, when I was fighting the case, when we was going through trial, I definitely knew she was pregnant.